Hi, my lovelies. This is Phoenix Belle here with Deathmothapothecary, and we are here with a pick-a-card reading today. This pick-a-card reading is going to be messages from your guides. Now, the vibe I was getting when I was shuffling is very much, for many of you, these will be messages towards moving forward in your life. Now, that may not be for everybody. This is a pick-a-card, so it goes out universally. But take what fits, leave what doesn't, enjoy the ride, okay? So I have 3 piles here for you today, and I'm using 3 amazing decks. I am using the Crystals, the Stone deck, the Modern Witch Tarot deck, which is absolutely my go-to tarot deck right now. I love it. And then the final deck we're using is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, which there is actually a tarot deck that goes with this. That's really lovely as well. And the Modern Witch Tarot deck I'm using has a bunch of resources that you can get to go with it as well. Like journals, there's all sorts of stuff. I can't remember, but I know I have a few things. I know the journal for sure. And I've seen other things that go with it as well. But anywho. So, like I said, I have 3 piles for you today. Each one is paired with a different crystal for those of you who like to pick by the crystal. I will tell you what they are here in just a second. And all I ask is that before picking, you close your eyes, you take 3 deep breaths, and ask yourself which pile is right for you. And ask your guides, because they are the ones who are really fueling these messages. And as always, I know this is my first pick a card back since rejoining you guys here on YouTube. But for those of you who watched before, you may remember, as always, I am a psychic medium as well, and I am connected to the guides and the universe and spirit and all of that fun stuff, like many of us, or all of us, depending on how far you have gone with opening your abilities. But if I receive any messages about the pile or the people viewing the pile, I will share them as they come through. All right, so let's get right into it. So for those of you here to pick by crystal, we will do that first. All right, so for pile number 1, we have an aventurine tower point. My brain, guys. For pile number 2, we have an amethyst sphere. And for pile number 3, we have this lovely selenite moon. All right, so I will give you a minute, like I asked or said before. Close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and ask yourself and your guides which pile is right for you. Not picked yet, please feel free to pause this. I guess if you have not picked by crystal. Now, for those of you who like to pick without the crystal, I'm going to remove these for a moment. And now you may go ahead and take your deep breaths to pick your pile. If you did pick by crystal and you have already done so, in the details below will be the timestamps. So feel free to click on one to jump ahead to your pile. If you have not picked yet, feel free to pause this to move, and we are going to move forward now into pile number 1. All right, pile number 1. Here we go. First, we'll be reading from the tarot deck. All right. All right, so the King of Pentacles. Let me show you. The Two of Pentacles. Right. And then the Five of Pentacles. Right, so some of you out there are not using your wisdom, knowledge, and experience for your finances, whether it be, chasing a dream or, just in general. Maybe you've been wanting to go out and enjoy life a little bit more than maybe you can technically afford to, or I don't know. There's so many situations in that ballpark that I could come up with, but generally, for those of you who are not listening to your finances, or not listening to your finances, I guess listening to your finances. Pardon me for talking to myself, and yeah. But yeah, for those of you who are not doing that, it's if you haven't already noticed the effects, which it looks like you have, or feels like you have, you will be soon. Now, for those of you who are trying to be smart about your finances and, you know that you have the knowledge to do it, especially with this King of Pentacles. I mean, you know how to handle your finances and everything, but they just don't seem like they're where you want them to be. Yeah, it looks like, you most likely feel like you've put in a lot of hard work and maybe you should be a little bit farther right now. I keep hearing, at least for someone watching, you feel like you should have gotten a promotion by now. And not to say you won't get the promotion, but it sounds like something better is coming for you. For those of you who have been kind of waiting on the promotion, and it's not going to feel better at first, like something may happen before that, but you will realize in the end that it was for the better. And there's also a matter of balance here. Like there are some days that finances feel really great for you, some days that finances don't feel really great for you. But ultimately it is a balancing act, and it's a matter of figuring out what you can afford, what you can't afford, and prioritizing your finances. Let's see what else. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So putting all of this into action, really, recognizing and accepting where you're at financially and career-wise, and figuring out what you want to come of this. Where do you want to go with this situation at hand? The next card I have for you is the Five of Wands. So this financial situation, financial or career or both situation that you're in, it can be very hard to decipher for you, to figure out exactly which path is best, to figure out why it's going the way it's going. And so with this Five of Wands card, and between the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands, with the Five of Wands, it's asking you to take a step back and to really try to look at the bigger picture, and to try to see it from every aspect possible for you to see it. And that might help your understanding of the situation, as well as help determine where you go from here with these areas of your life. And with the Knight of Wands being right next to the Five of Wands, that does show me that there is a chance, you know, and it makes sense with the other cards out, there's a chance that you may rush into decision making. You know, like maybe you don't like your job and you're really fed up with it, and you know, you're just tired of it, so maybe you just walk in and quit one day. Or maybe you do the exact opposite. You decide, you know, you are fed up with it, you're tired of it, but you're just going to sit there and stick it out. Really try to look at all of these perspectives before making a decision. It's definitely time to, you know, put action in, but you need to think through it first, okay? For some of you, it really feels like many of you, this is leading to a new beginning for you. You have the Fool here. So when you put your knowledge and experience, pardon my one black nail, long story to it, I just haven't taken the nail polish off yet. Anywho, back to what I was saying. Putting your knowledge and experience and everything that you know and feel, and it is the King, so it's the more masculine energy, it's the logic, it's the math, it's the science. So really use this to your advantage. You know, and if you don't feel like you have that knowledge and experience, ask someone that you trust and you've seen is good with their finances for help, or is good with career decisions for their help. Or at least some advice to give you a little bit of direction. And ask your guides, you know, for other signs. Ask them to help you. But ultimately with the Fool, some of you may get that promotion and some of you may be leaving your job to start a new career. Then you also have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands typically represents like happy home, happy household, happy family. In some cases it shows marriage. What I am putting together with this though is that whatever this decision is that you need to make with your finances and career is affecting your family and your home life. And I would definitely say with that Four of Wands being out, prioritize your family, prioritize yourself. Okay, don't prioritize your employer, or, you know, don't prioritize the oppressor of the situation. Prioritize your mental health, your happiness, your joy, your family, your wife, your kids, your husband, whatever you have going on, your dog, your cat, doesn't matter. All of them miss you if you're working a bunch. All of them suffer or gain from the time you are home or the time you're at work. So prioritize that over prioritizing the needs of your employer. And if your employer is yourself, really look at your finances and how you're spending. Have you been lacking a budget? Have you needed to start a business checking account but have been putting it off because you just don't want to go to the bank? You know, whatever those financial decisions may be for you, it's really time to look for the balance and to focus on yourself, because I know I mentioned it earlier in the reading that this was going to be, I lost my train of thought, but it goes with the Fool card, that ultimately this is starting something new for you. You know, for, like I said, for some it'll be a promotion, for some it'll be a new career, and for some it's just going to be the fact that you're starting to actually look at your finances and realize that finances, they come and go, but they're not always there when you feel like you need them. So if you cut back on extra spending, then that will help that situation. All right, so moving on to the next deck, the Chakra Oracle deck. This one this chakra oracle deck, typically, it does have to do with the chakras. I guess I would hope that's obvious, but it tends to point out areas of trauma or just healing in general that need to be done, as well as it likes to help with shadow work. So here we go. So the first card out for you is Balance. Right, and then Victim. And Guilt. So for some of you, this really does absolutely tie into your family and home life. So let's start with Balance. You know, balance was mentioned a lot with the tarot cards, I feel, and it really does come down to you know, prioritizing and figuring out where you need your work life versus where you need your home life, or where you need to spend versus where you need to save. So it sounds like your guides are very on point with, look, you need to get your finances and career under control. For some of you, you are absolutely in need of moving on from your current employment. And for some of you, it's really time to step up and become the financial person that your business needs you to be, as well as your family. So with that being said, prioritize those things and really, you know, start writing it down. You know, maybe you don't feel like you're very good with finances. Start talking to people who are good with finances. Especially if you are a business owner, talk to people who are good with business finances. You know, and that's not to say that someone that's good at home finances couldn't do business finances. They absolutely could. I do both. They absolutely could. But not everyone who does home finances is going to understand business finances. So make sure you find someone that does understand business finances, okay? Now with the Victim card, this is definitely a card going out to those of you who feel like you are super stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you don't understand why things are happening in the way they're happening. You know, maybe you're not getting the traction or following you thought you'd get, or, you know, you're not getting that promotion you thought you'd get. Maybe somebody else got it over you. But what this card is bringing up is that not every problem or challenge is as big as it seems. So, you know, for a lot of us, and we all have our moments with this, but for a lot of us, whatever, you know, we get so burnt out, we get so stressed out that we get to the point that no matter what the issue is that presents itself, we are the victim. We are, you know, this problem is huge. It's just another thing added to my plate. You know, even if you can logically realize it's a small issue, or, you know, maybe there is something better on the table or coming to the table, it still doesn't change the fact that, you know, you're upset to the point that you don't understand, and you may be projecting that out to other people around you. And this does typically tie in with past trauma, typically from childhood. We don't have to necessarily dive into that. If you have it, you know, you most likely know about it. Maybe you don't, but most likely you do. Or you can remember a time where, you know, people made things sound bigger than they were. And looking back at it, you can realize that. And then tied in with the Guilt card. So the Guilt card, let me show you this again. The Guilt card, in this card, this is the daughter, this is the mother. She's an adult now, but she still takes care of her mother, who is an alcoholic. And she feels like if she doesn't, then, you know, she doesn't know what's going to happen. That's an uncomfortable zone for her because she's most likely taking care of her mother the whole time. So, moral of the story, point of the story is that, you know, a lot of times we stay in jobs or we spend money on other people, or we stay in jobs for other people that we support. Or I know at one point I had a job that I didn't really want, and I took it because I thought it would make my family happy. So, you know, we do those things to try to make the other people happy, and then when we don't, we feel guilty for not doing it anymore. And usually, at least for me, it's not, I don't always feel guilty for not doing it anymore after the fact, but leading up to the point of not doing it anymore, I feel pre-guilty over how they're going to react or what's going to happen when I'm not doing it anymore. Are we going to have enough money? Are they going to be taken care of? You know, the whole slew of things that you can overthink with. So don't let your guilt get the best of you when making these decisions, and don't try to assume how people are going to react. Because even your family, you know, even the people you know the best, you don't always know how they're going to react. You know, maybe you've been in this dead-end job that has no promotions, you've maxed out your pay increases, and you're really not happy there anymore, and they've seen that. Maybe they want you to leave that job too. So don't try to assume what's going to happen. Just go with your intuition, go with the messages from your guides, which for some of you it really is leave your job, find a new job. They have something better for you. And for others of you, it's stop spending the money you don't need to spend, okay? So these final couple cards I have for you are crystals that will help you through this time if you choose to use them. The first one I have for you is black tourmaline, which is really, really grounding. It is great. I am going to read part of the back of the card for you because I love this deck. I think it's kind of funny in some ways. And every card, there's a little book that comes with this deck, but it doesn't give you every detail in the book. The creator decided to really put the details on the card. So the card says, everyone needs black tourmaline, and it says when to use it. Anytime you take public transportation, find yourself in a crowd, or hear that sucking sound of a coworker, family member, or malignant demon taking more from you than they are giving back. Protect your light. So essentially what that is saying is anytime you feel like you are going to be around people that are not necessarily beneficial to you, or not beneficial, they're not good for you, or it's just a bunch of people, like a group of people, and it's going to be a bunch of different energies, and maybe that overwhelms you, especially if you're an empath. It's very easy, or a highly sensitive person, it's very easy. So black tourmaline is a great thing to keep you grounded. It's a great thing to help, especially when you need to focus on a more logical side. Black tourmaline is a great thing to have. The next stone I have for you is opal, which is October's birthstone. Don't expect me to call that out for everyone, every stone. I only know a few birthstones. I apologize. So opal, who needs it? The all-black wardrobe set can benefit from black precious opals, bold pop of color, and spiritual protection. Not so prolific artists can ride fire opals burn. So it sounds like it's suggesting that Gothic people and people of that nature, I won't get into all of the names for them, but the more punkier, rebellious, or emotional people are what this card is suggesting opal be best for. And the little thing at the bottom says feel all your feels. So this stone is when to use it. When you have something that needs to get moving, a project, a relationship, an energetic block. Feel all your feels. I'll say it again. So follow your intuition with opal. Let opal help guide you and clear things up for you. Let it help you prioritize things that need to be done. The final stone I have for you, which is also the final card I have for you, pile 1, is danburite. Go. So who needs it? Emos, goths, buttoned up, white collar, stress cases. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. When to use it. When the daily grind has ground you into the pavement. When you feel like launching into space but lack astronaut training. Vibing with danburite can help you divert your busy mind away from its pesky, physics-ruled orientation. There's someone else out there. Flip on the high beams and explore. Turn on your electric light. All right, so it sounds like not only is it going to help bring in the good vibes for you, but it's slightly going to help ground you as well. Or not ground you, but it's going to help you with your intuitive side and your emotional side. It's going to help kind of balance it, is what it sounds like. So, as a quick recap, don't spend money you don't have. Save money where you can. Quit the job if you need to quit the job. Fight for the promotion if that is what you really, really want. Find the balance in your life and your finances and career, as well as home versus work-life balance. Don't assume the way people are going to react to your decisions with these things. Talk to them about it. Feel out the situation and tune it in with your intuition. Realize that some of these things that have been happening are happening for the better. So they're happening for you, not to you. Okay? And then you have black tourmaline, opal, and danburite as your crystals to help you get through this time. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me, people who have watched pile 1. If you picked more than one pile, that is okay. Just move on to the next pile that was yours. If not, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps. And be on the lookout for future videos. I will have more coming out soon. Thank you. All right, hello. Thank you for joining me. Pile number 2, the ones who picked the amethyst sphere. If you picked pile number 1, 2, and you are here to watch pile number 2, or picked pile number 1 as well and are here to watch pile number 2, thank you and welcome back. If you are just here for pile number 2 as well, thank you. And let's jump right in. So we're going to start with the tarot deck, which is right here. And let's get into it. Okay. Lots of cards flew out for you guys with the tarot and the chakra oracle deck. So once again, remember this reading is universal. So take what goes, or take what vibes and leave what doesn't. First card out is the World. Here, I'll show it to you guys. And then the Four of Pentacles. Right. The Ace of Pentacles. The Devil. Okay. All right, the Ten of Swords. So I can already tell you, and I was kind of feeling this vibe when I was shuffling for you guys, that not everything is as bad as it seems in your life right now. And I know some of you may be thinking like, oh, like you don't even know, you don't know who I am, you don't know my life. Shit's hard, pardon my language. But I can see the cards. You picked the pile. The next card you got is the Queen of Pentacles. Lots of good pentacle cards popping up in here. Then the Knight of Pentacles. Go ahead and I'm gonna move Beauty out the way. And then you have this card that is not actually a tarot card. It is an extra card that the author put in the deck, just as like a little bonus card. And it says, you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. So yeah, life is not as bad as it seems right now. Now, that's not to say there aren't challenges going on, though. There's definitely some stuff going on in your life that needs to be worked on. Ultimately, if it is with your finances or career, I definitely suggest taking a better look at them. And by better look, I mean stepping out of your box and looking in from an outsider's perspective for just a minute. Because, so the first one that came out was the Four of Pentacles, which to me, the Four of Pentacles is very like, take charge of your finances and career card. Like, you have the capability and the power to rule those areas of your life and to get and manifest what you want from those areas of your life. So it's really just putting that action out there and putting that effort out there and those intentions out there. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is, it could be a new career or a new level of finances for you, like maybe a new level of financial security for you. The Ace is typically a new beginning, but either way, it is a positive financial and career card for you. So if you have been waiting to hear about a job or a career, or, you know, maybe you're self-employed and, you know, you've been kind of waiting for your business or yourself to get like your big break, I would definitely say it's coming, especially with the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles knows what's up with her finances, okay? She follows her intuition in the financial and career areas. She listens to those around her, as well as speaks her mind to those around her. Excuse me. So she knows what's up, and she is using that right side brain. So, you know, some of you may have a creative endeavor going on. You know, maybe your business is a creative one. Maybe you're an artist. Sorry, I just realized I've said a lot. I apologize. It's just who I am, though. So it's kind of a sorry, not sorry situation. There it is again. The Queen of Pentacles knows what's up. Follow your intuition. Let your art do the talking for you if you are in that boat. Put it out there. Maybe search for some new resources of where to put it out there and how to put it out there. But ultimately, you have what you need to do these things. You have some self-doubt going on, though. And there may be other things linked to this Devil card, but for some of you, there's some definite self-doubt. With the Knight of... Sorry, I'll finish the Devil card first, because that's going to take me on a different path, different journey for a second. With the Devil card, it's talking about breaking chains, breaking cycles. So especially if you are one who lives in overthinking, in self-doubt, in putting yourself down, not believing in yourself, any of those things, now is the time to cut that stuff out. So, you know, if you don't realize exactly what you're doing yet, either ask your friends or your family if they've noticed anything like that, or start trying to consciously pay attention to your behaviors, your mental thoughts, your emotions throughout the day for a couple of days at least. You know, maybe write it down or take note some way, somehow, when you notice things like that, and see if there's any way that you can figure out how to change that for yourself, how to flip those perspectives. And if there's anything going on in your life aside from that, whether it be addiction or, you know, just toxicity in your life, start looking at ways to change those as well. You know, see if there are things that you can cut out of your life that may need to be cut out of your life, or at least need to be maybe not as active in your life, okay? With the Ten of Swords, that shows almost to me being like complacent. Like, you have these things going on, you have this toxicity in your life, you have these traumas that need to heal, you have these challenges, but you're kind of at a point that you've had them for so long, or it's kind of the same situation over and over again, that you're just kind of okay with it. Like, you know, I've been through this before. It'll go away on its own. I just gotta wait it out. So you're kind of just sitting there playing on your phone, distracting yourself for as long as need be until the problem either takes care of itself, or you kind of just forget about it until it makes itself really known again. That is not the way to go about these issues anymore, okay? That may have worked for you before. That may have been part of your survival mode to just let it happen. But what these cards are saying is that it is no longer time to just let it happen. It is time to put a stop to it. It's time to change it, change perspectives. You know, cut people or things out of your life if that's what's going on. Either way, it's time for change and action. And for those of you that are struggling from self-doubt and low self-esteem or low self-worth, whatever it may be, doing these things, cutting those things out, or changing your perspective on whatever it is, that is really going to help you, especially in the career and finance department. I really you know, and for those of you who aren't, it's okay, you're still welcome in this pile, but I really feel like a lot of you are going to be self-employed or wanting to be self-employed with whatever you are interested in. Now the Knight of Pentacles is, you know, there's movement there. He is moving forward. He is doing what he needs to do. But he does not always look at the bigger picture before taking those actions. So make sure that you really are thinking it through and you are following your intuition before making these big decisions. And then the World card, I kind of saved this one for last of the tarot cards. The World card is showing that you have everything you need to make these things happen. You have everything you need to manifest what you want, to make yourself famous, to make yourself wealthy, to make yourself happy, to have a simple life, to have a busy life. Whatever you want, whatever you desire, you have the capability, and you clearly have the knack to get the finances or career that you want to make this stuff happen. As the bonus card said, you are a badass. You are able and deserving to live a full, happy life. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but it's here for you to take. You just have to make it happen. You got to put the effort in and stop being complacent with your life and the things going on around you. Put your knowledge and experience to the test. Make it work for you. So moving on to the chakra oracle cards, okay? The first one out for you is Quest. Oh, here, me. And then Instinct. I think you guys got the most chakra cards out of any pile. growth, passion. Definitely have some artists in here. And don't you dare try to say that you are not an artist if what you're trying to follow is an artistry, okay? Despondence. As you can tell, I am not here for putting ourselves down. Not here for it, man or woman. Discovery or non-binary person. I don't judge. I'm here for all. I am on the spectrum myself. Final chakra card is prayer, which I also like to just say manifestation. Take it as you please. So going as in order as possible for how I presented the cards, which is how they came out. I usually present them as they come out. So first one, quest. This is part of your journey, okay? You are on this journey. You wouldn't be going through this if you didn't need to go through it for some reason, which from what I've seen with the tarot cards, a lot of it has to do with you putting your foot down, putting your boundaries up, and realizing how much strength and power and badassery you actually have and you own in your system. That is yours. No one can take it from you. They may be able to convince you to dull it down or whatever, but they can't actually take it from you. That is yours. That's your power, your abilities. Manifestation, like good manifestation, like someone who can get whatever they want whenever they want, that is a gift. That is an ability. And it's one anyone can essentially gain, but some people are just born that way. And really, it very much seems like you were either born that way or you learned how to be that way at a very young age. So as I was saying, you are here for a reason. You're doing these things. You need to do those things, like work with the Devil card and the Ten of Swords, for a reason, okay? It is your current lesson, and for many of you, it feels like this is not the first time your guides have presented this lesson to you, but this is, for a lot of you, going to be the time that you listen and you do it because you want to move into this. Like, you already have it, but you want to grow with it. You want to be able to do these things better and easier and more productive for you, which is great. I highly suggest you do. The next card you have, though, is instinct. So why aren't you listening to your intuition? This card shows the lone wolf, okay? But the lone wolf is guided by other wolves. And essentially it looks like they're wolves who have passed on. Like, they're guided by their ancestors, by their guides. And that's what is driving their instinct and their intuition and telling them where to go, what to do, where is safe, where is not safe, you know? And so open that up. Open yourself up to following your intuition and really listening to those signs. And then growth. Don't let the people around you get you down. It's easy to do. We've all been there. We all go through it. But this is a time, as I've been saying, for you to really step into your own power, to step into your inner beauty, your inner strength, your inner creativity, your inner boss badassery. It's not time to listen to bullies or people wanting to put you down or toxicity anymore. You don't deserve that. You don't need that. You don't have time for that anymore. The universe is waiting for you. It's ready for you to step into your power, and it's ready for you to get what you want and to put yourself out there and dive into your passions. Dive into the things that make you happy. Make that your career if that's what you want to do. If you don't want it to be your career, but you want to do it anyway, do it anyway. Focus on yourself. Treat yourself. Let your passions fly free. especially anyone that's creative, helpful to others, any number of those positive, productive things, go for it. The universe needs more of it. You have that passion for a reason. Let it fly. Then you have despondence. So despondence also ties in with that 10 of Swords card down there. Despondence is, in a way, this card is like blaming the universe for everything potentially wrong in your life. It's like, this lesson that has been repeated for you. And, maybe you feel like you've learned it, or it feels like for some of you, you feel like survival mode. Like you don't realize that you're actually in survival mode. You feel like survival mode, what is actually survival mode is actually you being, like it's you tolerating it, but you also feel like that was you learning the lesson. Like that was the answer to you learning the lesson, while your guides are over here yelling at you like you missed the point. The point was not for you to tolerate this toxicity, these things that don't belong in your life anymore. The point was for you to learn how to put up your boundaries and to take back your power and leave those situations if need be, or communicate a way to change them and put action to changing them if they are to stay in your life. Well, instead, for those of you who have gone this route, you have sat there and tolerated it and let it happen. And so you've gotten to this point that, anytime this lesson comes back around or these issues come back around, you're just looking at the universe and your guides and going, why? Why are you doing this to me? Why do I have to do this again? Reason being is because you didn't get the point. Or you got the point but chose to go the opposite direction from what they needed you or wanted you to go. So look at the bigger picture, look at the other aspects, and take a second to ask yourself, how did I react? Have I been doing that? Really take note of those things and then look at the situation again and see who's really at fault for it, okay? And I'm not saying that you are at fault for the toxicity in your life. Absolutely not. But you may be at fault for letting it stay in your life, okay? I know not every situation is cut and dry or black and white. Absolutely not. But most times there are some sort of options to help you get out of a situation or to help a situation be less active in your life, okay? So, be looking at those things, look at options, look at ways that you've reacted, look at ways others have reacted. Do what you got to do to figure it out, but it is time for this stuff to leave your life or be severely cut down in activity in your life. The next card you have is Discovery. Okay, I'm going to move these up so you can kind of see them a little better. All right, so Discovery. Discovery is part of the journey. It's soul discovery. It's self-discovery. It's discovery of your inner powers, your inner strengths, your journey, your purpose being here. Discovery of your hobbies, your passions, your boundaries, all of it. And it's saying that this is part of your journey right now, is discovering this stuff. Excuse me. And it's been part of your journey. You've been doing this your whole life, okay? And the rest of your life, you're going to be discovering more and more and learning more and more. We never stop. So realize that in going through what I was talking about, the despondence and the 10 of Swords and the Devil, that this is just discovering more parts of yourself. And if you feel like you've already seen these parts of yourself, try to dive a little deeper and see if there's anything that maybe you didn't recognize before or you didn't see before. And the final chakra card I have for you is prayer. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have to pause for a second. I just realized there's 7 cards out for you guys, and there's one for each color chakra. So you have 1 card for each of your main chakras. And there are way more than 7 chakras, but this main 7 ones that we know and we practice with the most in Western culture tend to be these 7. So I would absolutely say this means you need to focus on all of your chakras, because they all may be a little out of alignment. Back to the prayer card. Put out there what you want. Write down what you want to happen. Who you want to stay in your life. Who you don't want to stay in your life. Different things in your life that you want to change. Things that you want to come into your life. What do you want the next part of your life and your journey and finances and career to be like? Do you want to make 6 figures a year? Do you want to make more than that? Are you cool with like $75K a year or even $35K a year, as long as you get to be happy and enjoy yourself? Put out there what you want. Do you want a new house? Do you want to be able to get a pet and afford that pet, like vet visits and everything? Do you want to have a kid? Do you want to dive into your hobbies more? Whatever it is for you, put it out there, okay? And then the final cards I have for you is I have a couple of crystals to help you on your journey right now. And so each crystal's different. But on the back of these cards, it delves into a few different topics like this. So the first one is Moonstone. That's what the back looks like. This is Moonstone. I love Moonstone so much. But so I'm going to read just a couple of things off the back of the card for you to tell you about the stone. So Moonstone, it says, who needs it? All you earth gods and goddesses out there, and the people you keep around who need to work on their empathy, patience, and intuition. When to use it. Under a new moon, use it to set intentions that align with your purest, life-affirming, inner child nurturing calling. Under a full moon, Moonstone belongs in the bedroom or wherever you get down. You know what I mean. Find your natural rhythm. That's like the mantra with Moonstone, is to find your natural rhythm. Yeah, I love Moonstone so much. So the next one is Howlite. Howlite's a nice one too. I'm probably going to say that about all of them, to be fair. So who needs Howlite? Overstimulated minimalist living in a maximalist world. When to use it. When you need a break from the never-ending onslaught of DMs, meeting requests, and trending stories. Less is more, none is most. Howlite can help. The mantra is organize your headspace. So this is a really great stone to have for meditation. It's great to have, like, if one of these things going on is, dealing with never-ending meetings or always being drawn to social media, even though there's nothing new going on social media. Whatever the case may be, Howlite is a really great thing to have with you. The final stone for you guys and the final card I have is Barite. Or Barite. Who needs it? Anyone who leaves for work each morning with a sinking suspicion that their true destiny is anything but this. When to use it. When it's way past time to stop saying yes to things that you hate. Ask Barite what your true calling is. Then go live it. It will be terrifying, but what's the alternative? The mantra with this is get answers to your biggest questions. That last card, normally I do a summary, but that last card kind of summed it up for us. Just kidding. I mean, it did, but I will still sum it up. So, for many of you, it feels and seems like you are looking to dive into your own business, selling your creativity, selling your artwork, or, at very least getting your artwork out there so it's more known. Totally fine. Totally do that. Go for it. Stop putting up with the toxicity in your life. Take charge of your finances. Take charge of your career. Put out there what you want. Recognize that this is all part of your journey. If you feel like you've repeated this lesson before, maybe you missed the point the first time or the first couple of times. Try again. Look at the bigger picture. Try to look at it from your guy's perspective. If nothing else, try to look at it from their perspective. Or, another really great way to look at it is, how would you react to your best friend or your favorite sibling or cousin if they were going through this situation? What would you tell them to do? And then take that advice yourself, okay? Dive into your passions. Stop listening to the haters. Don't let them get you down. Listen to your intuition instead, and take fall for what is yours. Change what is not. And move forward, babe. Enough is enough. It is time. It's time for you to take your place in the world and to let the world know who you are meant to be, and what you want to do with it. Right? Thank you so much for watching. Please, especially if this connected with you, like, follow, subscribe, all of those fun things. If you also picked pile 3, feel free to stick around for that. If not, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. All right, pile number 3 with this gorgeous selenite moon. Here we go. All right, so we're going to start with the tarot deck. And before I get into it, I just want to say thank you for watching and following, subscribing, all of that fun stuff. Pile number 3, let's dive into this tarot deck. All right. Ooh, Justice. So normally I pull a few cards before I start reading, but let me just know, for any of you going through legal issues, legal battles, whatever, know that justice coming out like this is typically in your favor. So, whatever the situation may be, it is most likely going to be in your favor, especially if it has to do with finances. Maybe there's a settlement to it, or maybe somebody owes you money and you're working on getting it back. I don't know. But the 10 of Pentacles shows happy, good finances, typically, stable household, financially stable household, happy family, goals are being met. Maybe you wanted a house. You've been living in apartments your whole life. You wanted to own your own house. This is the kind of card that you want coming out in your favor for that, okay? Especially next to Justice. Next card I have for you is the Hanged One. All right. So the Hanged One usually shows that there is a decision to be made, or decisions to be made. Usually it focuses on one in my experience, though. So with the Hanged One, it's saying it's time to take action now. So whatever you have been sitting on, chances are you already know the answer. You already know where you want it to go. But for whatever reason, you haven't been announcing the answer or pushing the direction that you want it to go. So now it's time to do that, okay? And so for those of you who don't have a legal thing going on, I would say it's still going to go in your favor with these other cards being out, okay? So if you've been nervous about the response or the answer from the other party to your decision, I would say don't be at this point in the reading. Now, there's at least one of you that are going to get the response that you're assuming you're going to get, but it's still going to end up better for you in the long run. So no matter which of these situations you have going on for you, know that it's going to go in your favor in the long run. Okay. Hearing someone is looking for a promotion and they are not going to get their promotion, someone else is, but the employer is quickly going to realize that you were the better option, and it's going to come back around, okay? Or you're going to get a better promotion than that. So have faith, don't worry, especially with the Sun card coming out mixed in. The Sun card is a super positive card in my eyes, in my book. And it basically, to me, it's like you are happy, you have the balance going on in your life, goals are being met. You know, there's not a whole lot more that you could want for or wish for that you don't already have or isn't already like coming into play for you. And then you have the Empress, who is saying follow your intuition. Like, you may feel like you're psychic, or you may be psychic, you may not be, but either way, no matter where you are on that spectrum, you have an intuition. So listen to it, follow it, let the right side brain take over for a little bit. Enjoy yourself, understand try to understand the emotional aspect of life and the people around you. Try not to get too overwhelmed by everything going on in your life. This is a bonus card in the deck. It actually matches the Ten of Swords, but instead of the Ten of Swords, it's everything is fine. This card comes out when no matter what is going on in your life, you are overwhelmed. Chances are, especially with the rest of these cards coming out, either this is your guides telling you, like, look, this is the future for you, or this your guy saying, hey, look at all this good stuff going on right now, and you still feel this way, okay? So with this card coming out, like I said, it's kind of like an overwhelmed card. Everything going on in your life right now, you're just done. You don't want to handle it anymore. You may not understand all of it, or maybe you do, but either way, you're to the point that you're like, I'm just going to distract myself for 10 years and hopefully it'll be over when I come back. Obviously, that is an exaggeration, but that's essentially the mindset that goes with this card. So, it reminds me of a card in another deck that I'm kind of being shown by my guides, and it's called the Void. It's an oracle deck. It's a really great oracle deck. I actually almost used it for this reading, but I was pointed in a different direction. The Void it's depression, it's upset, it's numbness. It's not really feeling anything, whether the things around you are good or bad. At this point, it's depression. And the point of both of these cards, especially with these other cards coming out, is try not to let yourself get stuck there. Maybe there needs to be a perception shift where possible. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If you don't want to, but you do have things on your mind, maybe try writing them down. No one has to read it. No one has to know. Keep it in a private journal. Burn it safely. Burn it after. Put it in, a container that's eco-friendly and send it down the river to say goodbye to it. Flush it down the toilet. Whatever you need to do to release these things that are keeping you down, do so. You have so much good stuff coming in. You have so much good stuff going on. And then the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, I kind of makes sense with that. Everything is fine coming out. The Swords is about thoughts and processes behind them. The Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is like very, very active mentally. But, the Knight of Swords can't always see the bigger picture, or doesn't always see the bigger picture. Sometimes they rush into thoughts and overthinking and things of that nature before they know the full situation, or before they try to look at every aspect. from a logical standpoint, not just an emotional standpoint. So, try to slow down your thoughts, okay? And I know that can be hard, especially for people who are like ADHD or neurodivergent, whatever spectrum. I am one of them. I understand. It can be very hard, but it is still possible. Practice meditation, listen to binaural beats, write stuff down, talk to somebody, maybe talk to somebody and have them write notes for you. Like, just let everything out and have them just jot down the main points for you. So, like, especially if you have ADHD and your mind is running a mile a minute with 1,000 different thoughts, by the 10th thought, you probably forgot what the first thought is, maybe even the first 5 thoughts. So having someone write down those main points for you, or, you typing them out or writing them out as they come to you, may help keep track of those things. So it's easier for you to look at and process through them. Okay. So the next cards I have for you are the Chakra Oracle cards. They do absolutely deal with chakras. And at the same time, they like to point out areas that we need to work on emotionally, or past traumas that we need to work on healing that no longer serve us. So here we go. The first one is enlightenment, and then abundance. So far, we are focusing on the solar plexus. Facade, okay, we're really focusing on the solar plexus, guys. If you do meditation, if you do chakra cleansing, clearing, any work like that, I would definitely recommend looking at your solar plexus. As well as, if you don't, maybe look at finding a guided meditation that will focus on your solar plexus, or at the very least, focus on your chakras, like your 7 main chakras. There are many chakras in our system that, aside from those, but in Western culture, we tend to focus on those 7 because they are like the 7 core chakras that we know about. So focus on the solar plexus, cleanse out those ones. Going hand in hand with that, we have the sacral chakra, which is right below the solar plexus, and that's talking about self-worth. Oh, here, I don't even think I've been showing you guys these cards. I apologize. There is self-worth. Here is facade. Did I even announce the cards, or did I just talk about the solar plexus? My bad. Sorry, guys. Abundance and enlightenment. Okay, final chakra card is service, which also has to do with the sacral chakra. So absolutely, if you guys do chakra work, or if you're interested in doing chakra work, I highly suggest focusing on the solar plexus and the sacral chakra for right now. And really looking at healing those areas. So with the solar plexus, since they came out first, enlightenment. So open yourself up to your intuition and your guides. Listen to what's going on around you. Really try to understand the other perspectives, like the outside perspectives, other party perspectives. Try to see, a lot of times when things are going on, like conflict, the parties involved are projecting their own traumas. An example of that would be gaslighting. Maybe that person was never, was raised by someone who was never allowed to be wrong. Even when they were wrong, they weren't wrong. So that person gained that complex of, I can't be wrong. I am not the bad guy. I can't be the bad guy. I've never been the bad guy. So they're going to gaslight into making the other party believe that they're not wrong. They can't be wrong. They didn't do that. Because in their mind, they can't be wrong. That would be detrimental to their mental state if they were wrong. And so they don't accept that. So even though you don't have to accept it in the way that you tolerate it for everything, at least acknowledging that that person has something going on that may be causing their reaction, or had something happen to them that may be causing their reaction, can help give a little more empathy and a little more understanding to the situation. It can also help you determine whether or not that person or situation is really meant to stay in your life or not at this point. The next card out is abundance. And I'm going to show you this again, and I'm going to point some stuff out. So abundance, the story behind this card is about this gentleman on this side. He lost his last coin, okay? He really, really needed that coin, and he lost it. And he's, in his mind, he's not getting it back, okay? He worked really hard for that coin. He's not getting it back. He just lost it down the drain. So he's really upset. He goes to the bar. He's drinking about it. Now, the other person, the little girl on the other side, she comes around and she sees that gold coin at the bottom. And instead of being like, oh man, that really sucks, I could use that gold coin, she goes and she figures out how to get that gold coin. So she uses her ingenuity and her brain to figure out a way to get that gold coin to make herself a little richer. While the other guy is sitting there dumbfounded and lost about it, she's like, nah, I can get that. I got that. Be the little girl. Use your ingenuity, use your perspectives, use your manifestation abilities. Get the life you want to get. Okay? And I know that makes it sound easier than it may be for some people, but it really is possible and you really can do these things. But what I'm getting from this facade card out is that you have the capability to do all of these things, but for one reason, shape, form, whatever you want to say, or another, you have been putting up a facade for people to make society or some loved one or someone important that you used to look up to happy. So, or it's really for society if it's this case, but you're nervous about how the world is going to react to who you really are, or maybe you feel like people like you are bullied typically or have had a hard time in history, which absolutely may be true. I'm not trying to deny that, but at this point in your life, the world needs who you truly are. The world doesn't need another fake person, especially someone who is so real and true as you are, as who you are meant to be. You know what I mean? The world does not need another false face. We need real people with real honest opinions and real experiences to share, and real wants and needs, and we need real. We are craving real. So it's time to let go of the facade. It's not serving you anymore. It's not serving the world anymore. The only thing fakeness and facades are feeding anymore is survivalism, which a good chunk of people are trying to break out of now, and things that don't belong in this world anymore, like racism or bullying, hatred, inequality. So if you keep the facade, I'm not saying that you're absolutely feeding into those things, but you're also not helping those things, okay? And you are not helping yourself by staying untrue to yourself. So there's multiple aspects and ways to look at this, but either way, you don't need the facade anymore. Your guides are done with it. Survival mode no longer needs to be on for a lot of us. And I mean that as in, that doesn't mean the battle is over. That doesn't mean you don't need to survive anymore. There's just new ways to do it, okay? There's new ways coming about. We are fighting for new ways to survive that are better. So, join the movement. jump on the bandwagon for a little bit. Let your hair down and show the world who you truly are, because that is important and we need you for so many reasons. And then the last card you got for this is Service, which is another, I blanked out on the fact that I just focused on the solar plexus. So, or the sacral, solar plexus, sacral's next. So the first one you got for the sacral chakra is Service. So service has to do with being of help to others as well as being of help to yourself. Whether that be your passion or your empathy or both, let yourself help others and be active in the give and take of the world, okay? Feed your passions, let yourself, like, even if you do it to get the boost of energy, to get the I think it's serotonin boost. If it's not, please don't come for me, but I'm pretty sure it's a serotonin boost. For helping people, getting acknowledged for helping people, it makes you feel good. Let yourself get that little boost, all right? You don't have to do it for that. Absolutely. You can do it just to do it. But if you don't feel like doing it just to do it for the boost, okay? That can also tie in with the facade card and everything I was saying about, you're doing a disservice to yourself and the world by keeping a facade up. Be your true, authentic self, because that is what we need as a whole in the world. You need to be able to show and express yourself, and the world needs to see it for one reason or another. The final card you have for these is self-worth. Like I said, it's time to let go of the doubt. It's time to let go of the tolerance of things that shouldn't be tolerable. It's time to put up your boundaries. It's time to realize who you are, what the strength is you have, what the inner power is you have, because you got it. You definitely got it. Let the world know what it is you want and which direction you want your life to go in. It's time to take charge of your life. It's time to stop letting others impede on who you are and what you want, and you take charge of that life, because it is yours and no one else's. The final cards I have for you are from the crystal deck. They're just a few crystals that your guides picked for you to help you through this time, to help you gain clarity, and to help you just, like I said, get through this time, okay? So the front of the card shows the crystal. The back of the card talks about the crystal. So I'm just going to read a couple of highlights from this, and then, if you are drawn to the crystal, please feel free to do some more research on it. Go get it. Whatever you feel drawn to do with these, okay? So this is the first crystal. It is chrysoprase. I don't know how you pronounce it, so I'm gonna show you the name. Okay. If you need to, feel free to rewind a couple seconds and pause that to write it down. It's up to you. So, who needs it? Explorers searching for the fountain of youth. So, people trying to discover who they are, trying to discover the mysteries of life. People who are in discovery mode, essentially. When to use it? When it's time to forgive that person who hurt you most. Your parents. Oh, it's saying your parents. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to start over. Forgive me. When to use it? When it's time to forgive that person who hurt you most, your parents, and most of all, yourself. You are not a doormat. You are an evolved being. When you feel like giving up on love, chrysoprase gives you the green light to keep going. And then the little mantra with this is grow from your heart out. Okay. The next one I have for you is Lemurian quartz. Who needs it? Anyone in need of a vacation from their thoughts. When to use it. Whenever someone or something you love needs a zap of healing energy, awaken your inner wizard or witch and cast a spell with Lemurian quartz. The mantra with it is escape your mind. Final one I have for you and final card for your reading is Larimar. Okay. Who needs it? The hot-tempered and any Aries. When to use it. When you feel like all of the world's problems are suddenly just your problem. When anger stands between you and the formation of articulate sentences. Remember, chill is a choice. Ride the cool breeze with Larimar. The mantra is slow your roll. All right, so quick little recap of your reading. You have a lot of good things going on around you, or a lot of good things coming into your future. The important part is that you lay your boundaries down, you get out of your comfort zone, you face the challenges going on around you, which seem to be a lot to do with self-worth and dropping the facade. Take your time to think decisions through, but don't wait too long. You do have the Hanged One, which typically means it's time to approach that decision, and it's time to start putting out there what you want and the direction you want your life to go in. And know that it is looking like it is going to go in your favor. Put those mantras out there. Put that manifestation out there. You got this. You are a beast in the best way. You are a badass boss babe. And please know, I mean that with the utmost respect. Like, no matter what gender you are, what you identify as, you are a boss babe, okay? And you got this. But you need to take charge of your life, and you need to show the world who you really are. And not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, but you have what you need in you to handle it. And you are growing that confidence, and you are growing that self-worth to know that you deserve better. You are worth your weight in gold. So do it. Go out there, live your dream, live your life, show the world who you are, and grow that inner strength and confidence, because you have it. You just need to embrace it. Okay, thank you so much. I hope this connected with you. Please, if it did, like, share, subscribe, follow. So once again, thank you guys so much. I hope to see you in the next video.